Hey there, Brandon here, and welcome to another episode of Stack and Scale. And today I'm really excited because Clay has launched a new feature, Ads. And this gives you a unified place to build and manage ad audiences and send them to LinkedIn and Meta. And also Google is coming soon. And this all means that you can target and build inclusion and exclusion lists that stay up to date automatically and will sync with your CRM so that ads are delivered to leads that your sales team actually wants to talk to. And we're going to go over that all today really quick. I'm going to show you an inside look of this feature that actually launched today. So it's like, I guess not an insider look anymore, but I did get access to it earlier. I've been playing with it, and I can tell you this is definitely a game changer. I feel like game changer is kind of overused, but seriously, it is. With this, let me just tell you a little bit more about some of the cool things that you can do. And of course, the result of all of this for you, the marketer, is more ROI from your ad spend without having to increase your reach or your budget. So with this new feature, here are some of the things that you're now able to do that used to be manual or time consuming and frankly kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, but you can automate it now within Clay. So you can create high intent ad audiences and use first party data like your marketing automation or your web intent data or product usage data, etc. But also third party signals captured in Clay to launch those ads. You can run targeted ABM campaigns and show targeted ads to specific lists like only your tier 1 list or open opportunities, prospects with high account scores, etc. And of course, think that from your CRM, you can trigger ads based on signals. So that means advertising to lists of ICPs that recently changed jobs or got promoted, or they engaged with your company on social media or used multiple feature products, things like that. You can retarget leads a lot more easily and update lists with people who recently, for example, visited your website's pricing page or your product page or any of your high intent pages. And again, have that done automatically. You can expand your TAM. So build advertising lists of ICP prospects that are not in your CRM. And you can just really get way more targeted. You can filter and score and prioritize leads for campaigns based on enrichment and those signals that you already get and know and love from Clay. So with that said, let's just jump in and I will show you how this works. Okay, so here we are obviously inside of Clay, but instead of just showing you how to set up the ad sync, I figured let's create an interesting workflow here that will give us a little bit better results, something more than just let's find a list or pull a list from our CRM. So what I ended up doing here is starting off with finding buyer intent signals using the TrustRadius integration, then enriching those companies, finding our key buyers, enriching with people there, and then syncing it over to, in this case, I'm doing LinkedIn. I'll go through each of these steps really quick. And again, you can do Meta and Google is coming soon. But let's click into these really quick and let me show you what I did and how I built this. So I'm using the Clay managed TrustRadius account here, and I am going to select the main category. And if you're wondering, okay, what category am I listed in? Like you're searching for it and you don't see it, go over to your TrustRadius page here. I'm using Claude as the example because I'm obviously neck deep in Claude and I'm using it every day. It's my most used tool right now. So I said, okay, who should I do this example for? I did Claude. So it's right here, Enterprise Generative AI. And then I put that into the main category. Now I left this blank, but you could put Claude here now as the main vendor. But I just want to see anyone and everyone taking certain activities and actions on the Enterprise Generative AI category. And then I select my date range. You can have a start and an end date. For this example, I'm just doing started on February 1st, and that's it. And then here's the interesting part. So I probably overselected here, but you can select the types of engagement or the types of interactions that you want to be monitoring and finding people who are taking these interactions. So what you can select here are things like comparisons comparison clicks. You can do pricing, product overviews, comparison views, product pricing view. Find the highest intent signals that make most sense for you, that you really want to find the people that are taking those actions. And then we can continue here. So you can also put you as the main vendor here, and then you can put your competitors down here. Again, for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to leave all of this blank. And then down here, I said, only give me companies doing above 5 million in ARR. You can put industries. For the sake of this demo, I actually put my limit pretty low just because I don't want to burn through all my Clay credits. That's something I say on every single one of these demos. I don't want to burn through my Clay credits. I'll show an example of a table that I built and then synced over to LinkedIn ads, because as you know, with LinkedIn ads, you need a minimum of 300. So for the sake of not burning through all my credits for a demo, I'll show you an actual audience that I synced over that was more than 300. Okay, and then you can run this on a schedule. And then you can also run it manually as well. So save and rerun. And then what that does is it pops you over to this table here. And all of this is blank. You'll just have this column here, and then you'll need to click into that column and then pull these points out, some of the data out here. So it gives you a lot of good data, a lot of good info on what is happening with this person. So this company, GM Financial, is looking at Zoom AI Companion on the enterprise generative AI category, right? And then we can look at where they are. Hey, Colorado Springs. GM Financial is in Colorado Springs. There you go. That's exactly where I am. In Colorado, the activity level, again, the category, and then I'm pulling in the account name, the domain. You need to pull in the domain so that you can enrich the company. And then I pulled in the category, but again, feel free to pull in anything else here too that you think is relevant or that you want to see. This one might be interesting. Also the URL of the page, but the activity description. So this is the full description of what happened. So this person from GM Financial viewed the Zoom AI Companion product listings page. That's what this specific activity is. Anyway, so I did that for 12 accounts. Then I enriched the company. And then now I'm going to find the actual people at that company. So I did a find people. And again, I'm only doing it for a few people, in this case, one person, so that I don't burn through all my credits. But you can see here that, you can see here that I'm looking for CROs in sales. And then it gives me this here. And then I am enriching the person. Then I am finding their personal email. So one thing that you know about ads or know about social media is most people use their personal emails to sign up for social media. So you don't want to do a find work email. You want to do a find person email. And I did a waterfall here. And then I pulled in some of this data. I want to definitely pull in the headline. I'll tell you why in a sec. But yeah, here's everything that I pulled in. And then we're going to normalize the job title. And we do this because if it is too long, it will show up as an error and it won't sync. Same with first name and last name, but most people don't have, the vast majority of people aren't going to have a first name or last name that's going to be too long. It's the job title that's going to be the long thing. So I just wrote a pretty simple prompt here. And actually, I thought I changed this, but apparently I didn't. You can just use GPT-5 Nano for this. It'll do the job perfectly. Okay. And then from here, we're going to sync our audience, this audience here, over to our ads. So what we do is we click exports, create ad sync. And I did this just right before I started recording, and you're going to get this page here. So you'll see your audience here, in this case, again, just one person. And for the demo, I'm just going to do LinkedIn. And I'm going to make sure my LinkedIn account is synced. And if yours isn't, it's a pretty simple, pretty easy OAuth right in there. And then select your ad account. And then just name, testing, description, don't need a description. And then the audience type. This is obviously a contact list, not an account list. We already found their personal email, so no need to do anything there. And then you can do this manually, or you can sync on a schedule. And the schedule is, I think the minimum is 2 days. Minimum 2 days. And then you can obviously go up from there. And then you hit create audience. And then we got to map over a few things. So let's map over the personal email that we found, the first name, the last name, the cleaned job title here, the normalized job title, and then company. And then I usually just don't do country. Then we hit save and review. And then it'll tell us valid, valid, valid. Good. And obviously this is too small. Let me show you in just a second what that will look like when it's above 300. But you can review the titles. And then if you need to go back to your table here, do a little bit of editing. You say you're looking at this here and you're like, actually, I want to make sure it's only CROs, because you might have a few others in here, heads of sales, or maybe a CMO pulls in or something like that. You can always just go back to your table, do some filtering on your table, and then resync it here. And then all you would do over here is just this guy here. So rerun. So we're back over here. We do that, say we're ready to go. And let me show you one that I already ran. So this is 98.3% match rate. Dang. On 393. Yeah, out of 400. So yeah, that's pretty good. This is what it'll look like. So yeah, that is a quick overview of their new integration with ads. I hope that was helpful. I hope this was interesting. If you want this template that you can just copy and paste, I'll put that in the description on the Substack, and I hope you play around with it. Again, this is a game-changing feature that they just released, and I know there's a lot more to come for marketers specifically, so really excited about what Clay's coming out with, and I will see you all again soon. Cheers.